another video of us trying to fix. Maybe you remember about this monitor. You can read the number and you can remember it from a title of a video I did. Yeah, I did this monitor about, I don't know, 1 or 2 weeks ago. I uploaded the video, but at the end we did have a failed monitor. So it wasn't working at the end of the video, which is pretty annoying. But what we can maybe do is we can do a revisit today. So today is not a trying to fix video that we did try to fix at least one time, but today is a trying to fix number 2 video where we'll revisit this monitor. So the problem is, if you didn't see the video of the monitor, go watch, because I'm going to tell you right now what we're going to do with this monitor, or what we did. So the actual fault was a MOSFET, not a MOSFET. I keep saying it wrong. It's a Schottky diode that was shorted on the 2 sides that was causing it not to power on. But when we replaced that, we put it all back together, which was a complete and utter nightmare, because we just go and get 2 nightmares we had. It was a complete and utter nightmare because there was 2 nightmares. The first one was connecting the display cable to the power supply board, and also connecting the other, the other 8 cables for the power display. One should be for backlight. All of those should be for backlight. That was the first nightmare. But then the second nightmare was you needed to, when you put the top plate on top of the rest of the monitor, there's a ribbon for the power cable, for the power buttons and all the buttons, and that was very tricky to connect up because you have nearly to no space to connect it. Those were the 2 nightmares. And then, so what happened when we changed that component over? The Schottky diode that was shorted one way and the other, which is, it shouldn't be. It would be only shorted to one side. Well, we put all of that in, and we did those nightmares, and then we went to power it on, and it didn't power on. So then we opened it back again. This we didn't attach it because we only attach it if it's for a revisit video or we're done with it and we can't fix it. We didn't attach that. It didn't power on, no lights. We tried that a few times and it didn't. Then we take off the display again, and there was a cable that had disconnected. We connected it properly, and then after it was connected properly, it turned on the light, but no LG logo, no signal logo. Then when I filmed the last video, then I showed you the fault, and it was not even powering on. And that's what we have now. So maybe I was talking about this, and I was talking to myself about this, and maybe it could be that thermal paste, when you change over a component that has thermal paste, or anything that has thermal paste, even a CPU or a PlayStation 4 CPU, you have to change the thermal paste, except if you have already changed it about a week ago or 2 days ago. But this was Resi. This, I think, was about for 1 week or 2 lyrics in the bin, and then the person, after it had broken, he had it maybe a month and 2 weeks before he threw it out. And then while he was using it, maybe it was about 1 year or 2, and in that 1 year or 2, the thermoplast became crustier and crustier until it was crusty too much and the component shorted because of something. And then when the component shorted, he threw it out. And it was just maybe for overheating it shorted. So I will take it apart now and see if that component blew again. So see you in the time lapse, and sit back and relax to my new piano music. The problem we're running into now is a nightmare I didn't mention in the other video, in the last video about this monitor. That nightmare is taking off this piece. You see, this piece. And we're trying with picks. Ready to try with this. Pry tool. Ready to try it. No, I haven't tried with anything else. Let's try with that. No. It's not from here, I think we need to pry. I think we need to pry from down here. Can't really see there. So let's try and pry from there. Is we have no space to work with because I didn't mention this on the other video, but actually stripped out a screw that wasn't the correct screw to put in there, and don't know if we did damage to the video board by connecting up by putting that strip screw, because maybe it's no power now because of our problem in the video board. The screw damaged. There's a screw damage on the other side. But the problem we'll have with space to work with is this connector right here is connected to here. And we can't disconnect it from here because this is a type of ribbon that is isn't very easy to disconnect. As you can see, our MOSFET is in there, the MOSFET that we have put. As you can know, this heatsink been a bit hot when it was connected, because you can see that. You can see that the ink is like melting. You know how you would say that? But the ink is like melting. Let me get a close inspection. Ooh, let me just show you that. I think the camera has focus for that. There's a tiny spot mark. Can't show you that because the camera can't see. Let me put it like this. Where are we? Don't think the camera has focus for this. There's a spot mark. This is like away from the heatsink, tilted from the heatsink, compare from the top. So it's like tilted, so I can put my jammy thing in there. There you see? And then this one, you can't put your jammy thing in there. So it's lifted and it has a tiny scratch. You can't see it because of this giant capacitor here. It's just 25 volts, whatever. Then electrocute me. Just this one. But this one's already discharged because this has been 2 weeks here. Paint's melted. Maybe there was paint right there and the MOSFET got too hot. That's what maybe blew it. Don't know if this is blown. Maybe it could be a strip screw hole on the video board. But that's what I think. The MOSFET became too hot, broke, and also went melting the paint, the permanent ink from the marker. But I think you can't see that. Maybe I'll need to desolder the component to see, but without seeing it, without talking anymore, let's get the multimeter. So it'll focus. Let me try and do this two-handed. There we are. Multimeter's here. And now we can set it to continuity or diode test or beep test, whatever you call it. And we can, let me put this on the stand for a second. Let's zoom in. Coming the display. Let me take the display out of here. Here's this 3 kilo display. Place it on the table. And now we have an empty space to work with. And don't want to show my face, so let me do this out of camera. So the MOSFET is here. You can see a pretty bad soldering. There's 1,000 one way, and there is absolutely billions of resistance, kiloohms. I'm shorting the lid, and that's impossible resistance to read. So you didn't see any shorts, neither any. If that was burnt, instead of being shorted, I think what it would do is no continuity one way, no continuity the other way, because the diodes are blown. But there's a second thing we can check. The fuse. Maybe it blew because maybe we put the incorrect thing in. So let's check the fuse. The fuse is a little thing here, and it's a big, fuse is good. So I really don't know what to do with the thing. Don't know really what could be blown. Check the output fuse. Output fuse is good. Not very permanent though. Yeah, it's permanent. But don't know really what to do here. Just checking for fun. This. No. No coil. Coil? For fun? No. What could be causing this no power issue? Not the MOSFET to blow? Don't know if it could cause that. The issue we're having is very strange. Oh, but I want to tell you something. Maybe the problem was a very simple problem. And it's going crazy. Maybe our problem is, you know what? I was taking off the panel. As you see on the second nightmare, that you have to connect the ribbon for the power on off switch or the switches, push buttons. When I took it apart, maybe that was just normal, it just connected a bit. But I saw that it was well connected on one side and a bit tilted on the other side. So maybe the other side is for the on-off buttons, and that side could be broken. And that's what I think it's that, because it's not a MOSFET, it's not a fuse, and it wasn't like it doesn't work every time. It's like it worked after we changed it, but then it blew again. So we don't know what to do about this monitor. Maybe we'll put it back. We'll connect the cables. Turn off the monitor. Connect the cables and see if for some reason it was just that. Just putting the paper so my hand doesn't turn white. Very fun. I don't know what to do. We could do an update about this if we keeps going white. Your screen is now going white. But what we could do is we could connect back all of the cables and connect them properly, and then see if it would power on. Yeah, we could do it. That. You're not no cable. I'm talking about this cable. This is the power buttons. So it has menu, light view, up and down, and auto set, and power on, of course. But let's maybe try that. So see you, and we'll try this after a bit of time. So welcome back to the revisit of the Flatron LG monitor. What do we have this book doing here? Well, what we're actually doing is, I thought that I think I explained to it on the last part of the video that when I opened this, it could be just me touching it, but it was like unconnected on one side. Could be unconnected because it was little tilted on the other side, and that could be not connecting the row of pins for this. So what we did is we connected it properly like this, and now it powers on, but still no display. So we're back what we had before the no power issue on the last video. So as you can see, there is on the cap, there should be 300 volts going to it, and there is 320 volts going to the cap. But what I'm impressed with is how noisy the electricity sound on this power supply board is. Just put the screws on there. Can you hear? Whoa. That was... Was that the electric you did? It was just a joke. But... maybe the multimeter had blown. But this is really noisy. It went bang when I was trying to show you the noise. Can you hear? So noisy it is. Now let me show you. Can you see right down there? You can see this box is a box, and you can see there's a green light on there because the box is white. And now if I turn it off, it goes off. made a strange thing. Short something? Oh, there it's on again. Is there light? Light at all? Who did? Oh, the connector's been plugged in. Look at this. Nice connection. It's blinking now because of the connector. It stopped. Turned on. And then when it's turned on, the light turns on. And the thing, and this makes a bit of the voltage. And then the video board detects that this has been turned on, and it turns on fully all the circuits. So it gives about maybe 1.5 volts to the video board, to maybe a chip, and that chip only needs 1.5 volts and tells the other board to turn on when this is pressed. Look, just lift this, it blinks. That's bad connection. But if I turn it on, turns on, and it turns on fully. So today is the next day, and yesterday I filmed a video about the explosion. And what I want to say is I couldn't film under the display because it kept always showing my face or Daddy's face. So what I'm going to tell you is I looked on the display and there was no display, not at all, no LG logo, no signal, nothing. But if you're wondering, it wasn't a joke, the explosion. The first reason is maybe was reading on the points that had AC voltage and the multimeter was on DC voltage. And the other reason might be because when you put it on continuity, maybe it's on continuity, when it has on continuity, it's sending 3 volts to see if the buzzer received 3 volts. Maybe it was sending 3 volts to something that's plugged in 220 volts. 220 volts is coming in through and make a giant spark. Or maybe it actually touched something. So what I want to do, we get the multimeter out. Let's do this. So I have this. I just put this on the cameras on here. Where can I put the camera? Here. Okay. So I'm going to measure the 2 fuses to check if we have blown them or not. Stuck because of this earth wire. That's good. Now let's see the other fuse that's before the power. And there is. So the 2 fuses are good, which means it should not be that we have shorted something. So what we're going to do is we're going to search on Google, on YouTube, monitor no display, and see if we find someone with the same problem. Let's see. The truth, is it going to explode and make a giant spark? Let's be very careful. Let's zoom into that board. That's the board. Let's touch a few things. If it goes bang. I'm filming with a lot of light. If there's a spark, you will see it. Shorting things. Let's see. A book in the back. 300 volts going to the cap. 300 volts to the cap. What else is there? I think, is it turned on? Yeah, you can see green light. Seeing there if there's a spark, I'll let you know.
1.5 volts in the source of the MOSFET.
Don't need to check the coils.
1.5 here as well. The source.
Nothing's like sparked yet.
5 source. The drain of the MOSFET. There's nothing in the drain of the MOSFET.
Nothing coming to the MOSFET.
There's one.
Shorting something.
Yeah, 1.7 coming in the MOSFET.
And if I turn it off on the button, doesn't stop?
No.
No, it doesn't stop even if you tap your power button. After this, I want to shine a torch in the backlight, because the last video I couldn't shine a torch because there was no power in that wise because of this cable. Oh, there it's gone again.
There's nothing in the drain. It's a MOSFET.
Is that?
But maybe it's not activated or.
It only activates. It does something. I was trying to search online for a hard reset
0.6 volts.
on the thing, but it was always if it was working. There's a button combination.
7.
We'll do that. No, there's no button combination. There's no.
Voltage is increasing.
I'll film the meter if you want. Can't see. Really?
I don't know why the voltage is increasing on the gate. No, on the source of the MOSFET. It's increasing with time. What?
There. But there's no spark, which is a good sign. Yet. It's already 4 minutes, already long.
Let's see what this is. 1.4 volts here. Yes.
The coils?
This one. 1.4 volts. Going into the.
Still green there.
What is this?
You can see.
Nothing. 5 volts here. Negative.
Put a paper. This paper about now. I'll put this all right in my head. Make the paper. Show you the light. It's coming from right there. There you are. You can see the paper's green on there. You know that's it's just a painted paper. Fully zoomed in. Woo, 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 woo. Nice. If you want to know the model, you can look at that, or you can look at the title of this video. And show you the model if you want. I'll give you 10 seconds to read that. Take a screen capture if you want. I'll show you this if you want. A screen capture of that too. I don't think this is going to be fixable if it's a backlight issue, because you know, when on a LCD monitor, there's like what? There's just a shock. There is polarizing films and there's lights, and what happens is those lights are in series, so if one blows, all of the others won't turn on. I don't know why they didn't do them in parallel. So if one broke, you just don't have that area of the screen illuminated. Then you know it's a backlight. But I don't think it's gonna be fixable. Plugged in again, and what we're going to do is another dangerous thing. We're going to plug in now. Let's see if any sparks fly from the board. To be well out of this thing. Right here. Say 0, 0, 0. No, can't tell. No explosion yet.
It's a coil.
Oh, for measuring coils.
There's a coil there, and then
If we can't
the
fix
two inverters are here.
If we can't fix it, you can.
It's not there, and then there's
Can't fix
a
it.
resistor
we
here,
can't
5
fix it,
volts in the
You
resistor.
can tell
5
us in the
volts at
comments
the exit.
what might be a problem, and we'll try that.
Check this MOSFET. 1 volt in. Nothing leaving the MOSFET. One volt at the drain, at the source and gate. What's the voltage that is meant to go in? This is
No
I don't know.
explosion will happen, I think. But what I want to do is I want to connect up, take a picture out, this display. So we need to connect these ribbons. These are inverter connectors, which I didn't know. With English. And you can see that a bit of tape, and when we fix this monitor, if we fix it, or if we put it back together to take the recycling center again, we can put this tape over. This tape is just, so imagine you wiggle the screen, it doesn't come off here. The tape was here, but we can put that tape in there. So recycle the tape.
We can try AC.
What?
AC 500 volts.
Sure.
Here, for example. Nothing.
That's DC.
It's meant to be DC here, right?
AC? Can put AC. Check what voltage there is. See what's there happened. The video's opened. There was a computer.
Nothing. Even less. Like that.
20 volts.
No, nothing.
That's the battery. Again. I'll stop filming now. Let me try and do this two-handed. So, what we have here, the lamp and the monitor's plugged in. And you can see the lamp, but nothing on display. Don't think it's a backlight issue. See there. Like that. What some people do on Macs is that they put the light. That's just reflection. So I just put back the clips of the video and I saw it was already 36 minutes, which is a pretty long video, and it's already, if I go to export, it says it will be 5 gigabytes in total. If the 1 hour video will be 10 gigabytes. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a revisit too, because this revisit, I think it will not be useful for you. So what have we done here with the monitor? We have put not the VGA in, and we have bought a bag. We put the screws in that bag. And those screws, when the next revisit, that will come in a month or two, we will take it apart again, and I'll put a time lapse. And you can hear to some more relaxing music. So, I will not do any more videos about this because I think it's already full of junk parts. There's nothing helpful in this video, I think. Because I'm sure you just were. You loved the part that there was a spark. That was because maybe the multimeter was reading on AC while it was on DC, or it shorted something. Put the camera away, but then I tried to film some other things, but no more sparks. So do a revisit too on this monitor, and see you on the revisit too. Bye for now.